Hello and welcome back to the Gallachini Sports Show. I am your host, Cian Gallachini, and this week we are continuing our journey into finding you, your new NBA team to support. This week is the New Orleans Pelicans, and unfortunately I don't have a New Orleans Pelicans jersey to rep, but who knows, if you end up supporting them, you might have a jersey to rep someday. So before we get into the usual of what we did with the Dallas Mavericks last week, let's hit the intro. So the New Orleans Pelicans are a team playing out of New Orleans, Louisiana, right now being 11th in the Western Conference with a record of 14-18. Who is on this team? Well, of course, the one that everybody knows, the one that all the media is talking about, Zion Williamson. Then supporting him in the starting lineup at the moment is Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, formerly of the Bucks. You have Josh Hart coming off the bench, you have Steven Adams, Brandon Ingram, an all-star last year, and then some of the other supporters on the team is Nico Melli, JJ Redick, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jackson Hayes, and Kira Lewis. So how is this team doing this year? Well, actually right now they're ranked 6th in offensive rating, but unfortunately ranked 28 in defense, which is kind of the biggest problem they've been having all year. The over-under that was set for this team, as I said last week, what the bookies has said that they win, and you have to guess if it's going to be over or under that, is at 36.5. And actually right now, as of recording, they're just about to be a 500 team, just a little bit under. So they are kind of on course to hit this over-under, and with the momentum they've been building and the offense that they've been playing with, they should hit that. Although with the defense they've been playing recently, so we'll get into the kind of issues they've been having defensively, but with that defense it could be the only reason why they don't hit that. They are coached by Stan Van Gundy, who is a very defensive minded coach, which is ironic considering they're now 28 in defense with 6th in offense. It shouldn't have played out this way, but that is the NBA at the end of the day. So the most important thing for anybody who wants to support this team to be aware of is the amount of draft capital this team has. So I'm sure most people know how the draft works, where when a player enters the league, it's not who can throw the most money like the Premier League to sign them. It is basically the best performing teams have lower draft orders, rankings, and the worst performing teams have the best draft rankings, and you can include them in trades to get new players. So what the New Orleans Pelicans have done has acquired a mass of draft picks coming up in the following years. So Anthony Davis of the Lakers used to play for the Pelicans, but they traded them to the Lakers and they got back quite a lot. So not only did they get back Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, they also got a lot of draft picks too. So not only did they get 3 good players, I'm going to get into what kind of draft picks they got from them in a minute too. But then on the flip side, they also had Jrue Holiday, who's now with the Bucks, and the Bucks gave up quite a bit as well. They gave up Eric Bledsoe and George Hill, which they then flipped for more picks, but a lot of picks from the Bucks too. So what I'll do, I'm not a Rain Man, I can't remember all these picks from head. I wrote them down, that's how many picks there that I have to write them down. So I got my old copybook here. If you are a New Orleans Pelicans fan, this is the amount of future odds of getting a good player. So not only might you pick a good player from this and pick the next Zion, which you've already got, you might be able to trade a piece too. So let me read these out for you. So in 2021, you have the Pelicans first round pick, the Cavs second round pick, and the Wizards second round pick. In 2022, they have the Pelicans first round pick, the Lakers first round pick, and a Utah second round pick. In 2023, they have their own first round pick, which is a pick swap with the Lakers. So if the Lakers have a better pick than them, they can swap it if they so wish. And they have the Nuggets first round pick, which is a lottery protected. But if the Nuggets in 3 years time still have Jokic, I think that won't be a lottery pick. In 2024, they have their own first round pick, which is a swap with the Bucks. I don't think that'll be one that will be swapped for the sheer reason Giannis will be with the Bucks, touch wood, and it won't be that low of a pick. And they actually have a Lakers first round pick that year too. In 2025, they have their own first round pick and a Bucks first round pick. In 2026, they have a Bucks pick swap. By then, who knows what the story is with Giannis, and it could be a good pick to get. And in 2027, they have the Pelicans first round pick, their own first round pick, and they have the Bucks first round pick. So pretty much every year for the next 7 years, they have at least their own, if not a Lakers or Bucks first round pick to go with that. That is an insane amount of draft capital to have. Like, I still can't get my mind around it. So not only do they have a promising future with what they have, with Lonzo Ball being a great player, Brandon Ingram being a great player, with Zion Williamson being a generational superstar, they have so much more chances to find one in the draft as well. Or trade them all for another player. So if you want to support the Pelicans, like, you're in safe hands. I don't see how David Griffin, who the executive of this team, could make a mistake. He has to find at least one good player there, right? And that's going to get you in the playoffs, and that's what really supporting any NBA team is all about. Not every team can win a championship, but if you're in the playoffs, you're in a good place. Right now, I'm actually blessed as a Bucks fan that we can be in the playoffs every year competing. I don't think we'll be competing this year by the looks of us. That's a story for a different day. But I am grateful that we are in the playoffs. I remember when I first started supporting the Bucks, we weren't in the playoffs. So it is actually, Joe, a privilege to be there and get hopefully fair. And with the Pelicans players that they have right now and the ones they might get in the future, why not? Why wouldn't they? But don't take my word for it. Right now I'm going to show you my friend Shane, who actually is a Pelicans fan, and he'll kind of run you through why you should be a fan, but he'll also focus on the negatives, because to be fair, right now there is a bit of pain involved. So let's flip on over to him.
Okay, so I am joined by my good friend Shane, who is actually a Pelicans fan. So Shane,
for my sins.
First and foremost, why should people be Pelicans fans? We can go into the negatives in a minute, but why should they be fans?
Yeah, trust me, there's plenty of negatives, but the reason you should be a Pelicans fan is that you are guaranteed excitement at every game. They are a high-scoring team. They are, I think, if I remember correctly, a top 10, or it's actually top 8 offense in the league, top 8 in scoring. They have probably the brightest young star in the league in Zion Williamson, who...
Like Luka, I'd say. But go on.
Remember, like, this is still, like, Zion still hasn't played a season's worth of games yet, and
True.
He's regularly going over 30 points, seemingly at will, like 65 plus field goal percentage. So
True. And as I say, when he gets to his spot, there's no. Well, first of all, he can get to his spot whenever he wants, and there's certain spots on the court that when he does get to, it's going in like.
Oh yeah, like I was watching the overtime game against Boston, and at one point he spun. I forget who it was. He span, but anyway, he span past him, was going to the rack, and it was Theis for Boston Celtics.
Daniel Theis, yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Theis. Two of them went up. Zion went to dunk it. Theis just hit off him. And went 5 yards backwards. Like, it was literally, here's Zion, here's Theis. It was like that.
Yeah. What I found more impressive from that game was when he just backed into Tristan Thompson and floored him like it was like a child.
Oh my God! It's like he's a bully. He just bullies people out of the way. But he's after recently now. I've noticed twice at end of first half he's been able to go the length of the floor and actually Euro step his way in between defenders for the kind of half-ending basket.
He's an athletic freak. He is just is.
Yeah, it's with the Pelicans. It's just you are essentially guaranteed a high-scoring game because they also can't defend for.
Yes, I was about to say we'll go into the negatives then. Why shouldn't they be a Pelicans fan?
They are going to frost. They are the most bipolar team in the league. In every single way, they are bipolar. They go on winning streaks. They go on losing streaks. Within games, they can go for 40 plus in a quarter. Then the very next quarter, they'll hit 12. They'll get 12 points. And like against the Celtics, they were down 24 points going into the fourth quarter. halfway through the third,
Mhm.
and they outscored them the rest of the way. Like, they were awful for most of that game, absolutely awful. Some of the team selections are crazy. Like, right now they've Eric Bledsoe at point. So Lonzo Lonzo is playing.
Trust
shooting
me, as
guard.
a Bucks fan, I know all about the Eric Bledsoe or the Drew Bledsoe experience.
Like, I mean, and like, Lonzo has been amazing from the 3-point line in the last like 10 games.
Yeah, I've never
like, he's
given up Lonzo.
47%.
I've never given up on Lonzo. I'm happy
No.
to see that.
And he's been played out of position. Like, Josh Hart should be starting. Josh Hart should be starting at shooting guard, and Lonzo should be point guard. Josh Hart is amazing.
Do you see the effort he put in against to get defending Giannis?
I know, like,
he actually put in a fairly good job against him. Like,
he's a dog. Like, I mean, you look at him and you think, doesn't look like much, and he could go for 20, and you expect 20 points, but it could as easily just be 20 rebounds. Like, one of the games I watched, he went for 17 points and 20 rebounds. Like, and he's like a shooting guard, about 6'5".
Yeah,
maybe.
he's 6'6". He is 6'5". They said it today because I was watching the Bucks and Pelicans match, and they said the 6'5" Josh Hart guarding the 6'11" Giannis.
It's crazy. Like, I have the player stats up here. Like, the leading rebounder on the team is obviously Steven Adams at 9.2, but Josh Hart is second. At 7.3.
I think that says it all. Like,
it's crazy.
I suppose the next question I want to ask is, how did you end up supporting the Pelicans? What was kind of it for you?
Jeez, you know what? That's a question I ask myself every single day. Why did I choose the Pelicans?
See, no one's answer to this question will never be more embarrassing than mine for why I support the Bucks.
Why do you support the Bucks?
I just really like Jabari Parker. the fact that we drafted him before Joel Embiid. Like, imagine Joel Embiid on the Bucks. It could have happened, but no, went with Jabari Parker, and I really liked him. I still hold out Jabari hope. He's rocking it with the Kings at the moment. He's one of those don't give up on guys for me. But I kind of got lucky. Very lucky.
I became a Pels fan just before the kind of DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis era. Like, I kind of liked the way that there was a team kind of going for something a bit different, as I put, like, most teams are kind of going to trending towards the small ball kind of spread it out 3-point. So it's kind of interesting to see a team kind of move towards kind of having two bruisers, like, especially back in the time, like DeMarcus Cousins was an absolute beast.
I love Boogie. Like, when he was with the Kings, I was a big fan of Boogie. Oh my god! But it's kind of sad seeing where he is now. Just lost every step he had over injuries and age.
Yeah,
and
like, if you see him now, you'll probably think, what was all the hype about? But in his prime, he could do it. Like, he could do it all.
Yeah, that one season with AD and Boogie when they went to the playoffs, and Rondo was showing true playoff Rondo in the first round. They had a great season.
Yeah, but it went all Pelicans in the end. Basically, we lost.
As it does.
We lost. It happens. And then it doesn't, it seems to be very random when they decide to come all to come together, and watching them can be very painful, but also very rewarding.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Shane. Leave you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so my reasons why should you support the Pelicans? Well, reason number one is Zion. The man is a beast. Like, he's only 20 years of age and he's bullying grown men around the place. I'm going to show this clip here of against the Celtics when he just backs into Tristan Thompson, who is taller than him, but he makes him look like a child and just scoots into him and knocks him over. But that is just insane. He also is leading in the points in the paint, so no one has scored more points in the paint than him. He has 1.4 points per pick as a screener. That's fourth in the NBA. So basically, when he's the one setting the screen, receiving the ball from it, he gets 1.4 points every time. Considering that you get 2 points if you score, he's pretty much scoring 2 or 3 times. Another reason Zion is amazing is him carrying the ball. Point to Zion. For such a big man carrying the ball, he actually grew up learning to play as a point guard. His dad was really a big Magic Johnson fan who had the ball in his hand, so he's well able to pick out a pass. So the defenses really have to think twice when it comes down, because Zion can just drive to the hole himself, but if you collapse on him, you have people like Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, who's been shooting better this year, and he can find these open shooters, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they have been such a good offensive year, getting them their offensive rating that they have. So realistically, how young this young man is. Imagine him in 2-3 years time, and again, as I said about the Luka Doncic thing, seeing the ascent and the journey of such a great player and being in from the ground floor on that. It's only his second season and he still hasn't played a full NBA season, with him being 1 injured last year and 2 the season ending early last year too. He hasn't played a whole string of games, so this is his first real season, which is impressive considering how dominant he's been. I only watched him against the Bucks, and it seems like he gets to his spot whenever he wants. No one can stop him, and once he learns more about the game, I can't see who will stop him. Now, that being said, there is defensive issues there. If you see some of the clips, he's late on rotations a lot. It looks like he looks like he's a bit overweight still, which is mad to say when you consider how explosive he is on the offensive end. But is it a lack of effort, or I don't know what it is really with him? Is it just the brain is working a little late with the rotations? But as you can see in a few of these clips here, he's just a little flat-footed sometimes, doesn't make the right read at the right time. But as I said, he still hasn't played a full season. I'm sure with a coach like Stan Van Gundy, he should be able to come around and improve defensively, because when he does make a defensive play, they are game-changing plays. Another reason to support the Pelicans, as I've said already, you know what draft capital they have. At least you'll have fun for the draft every year, seeing what they're going to do is it going to be a trade, or are they going to pick the next future superstar? Will they get the next LeBron James? Who knows? But that is one big reason too. I've already went into how much draft capital they are getting. But another thing that they might be able to trade is Brandon Ingram, an all-star last year, and someone who a lot of people are saying has been snubbed this year with the way he's been playing. He is a fantastic player, offensively great. Again, some inconsistencies on the defensive end, but for such a long player, and I say long because his wingspan is massive, it's just so long. Like, he's tall and long. I wouldn't say big because he's on the skinny side for an NBA player, but wow, he is dynamite on offense. Great scorer. And if you keep him and Zion together, yeah, great. But in my mind, I think you could find a much better fit for Zion if you were to shop him around when it becomes available. I don't think there's any player available now for a trade, but in a season or two, who knows? Shop around Brandon Ingram, maybe a few draft picks that you have shopped up, and you can have a title contending team right there, which at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, being a fan of an NBA team. If you can get a title contention, that's fantastic. And then one final reason that you should support the Pelicans is Lonzo Ball. I know right now his younger brother LaMelo is getting all the media attention, all the Rookie of the Year hype, and rightfully so. He's as much as a pain to say, considering I'm a big Tyrese Halliburton fan and I've been calling him Rookie of the Year all season. I think objectively, so far, it has to be Lonzo. He's starting, he's leading his team way more. He's been way more impressive. But Lonzo has improved so much. He's shown great work rate. His shot when he entered the league, I'll show clips of the difference, because it actually was comical when he started with the Lakers, the way he shot. But if you look at him now with a much cleaner shot, congratulations to him for the hard work he's putting in, and congratulations for the recognition he's getting now as a more consistent shooter. So what are the reasons you shouldn't support the Pelicans? Well, as Shane pointed out, they're very inconsistent defensively, and you know, they can go one quarter and score 40 points, and then the next quarter they could score 20 but give up 40 themselves. They're way inconsistent. Fourth quarter they've been very inconsistent too. They've been blowing quite a lot of leads. But But then again, with the whole inconsistency thing, they've been down by 20 points like against the Celtics and they've come back and won. So you never know what you're going to get with them. So even if they have all these great players, if those inconsistent mindset stays, who knows if they'll be able to ever be a good playoff team. Another thing is, first I was going to say their depth after their starting five, but also their identity. Who is this team? Who should their starting five be? Right now they're starting with Eric Bledsoe, which I think, as a fan of the Bucks and having the whole Eric Bledsoe experience, if you're to have him as a sixth man and when he's feeling it, have him in, great. But he can shoot you out of a game, and he goes missing in playoffs. So many years. I think it was 2.5 years he was with the Bucks, and it was heartbreaking seeing him in playoff situations where he just shoot bricks and make the wrong decision time and time again. Yes, there's he'll have great nights where he'll put up 30 and look like the most athletic person on the court, which is kind of hard now considering he plays with Zion. But he does have nights like that, but it's way too inconsistent. And they're having him start now over Josh Hart, who, as me and Shane were saying, puts in great effort every night. He's just a dog, he'll just keep going. Again, why did they go and get Steven Adams? Yes, he's helping with the rebounds, but spacing wise, what are they going for here? With their starting five, including Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson and Steven Adams, where's the space? A lot of the way the NBA is played nowadays is with everyone out behind the 3-point line and a lot of passing. Like Golden State Warriors type of play, that's where the league is kind of evolving to. This team is more old school, banging in the paint, which I'm a fan of. I really enjoyed watching the Bucks and the Pelicans the other night when Giannis and Zion were going at it, like a paint battle, proper big man stuff, not just shooting from the. I'm not a big fan of the 3-pointer, just jacking up a load of trees and living or dying on if your shooters are making them, because as a Bucks fan, that's what we've kind of been doing this season, and more often than not we've been losing that battle because we don't have the shooters we had last year, but we're still doing it. We're not trying to find a creative way out of it, like the Pelicans I suppose are doing a little, but I think with the talent of Zion in the paint, he needs a bit of space to go to work down there, and Steven Adams kind of clogs that up. I know I'm a big Steven Adams fan. The offensive rebounds he brings are very important, but spacing is an issue. That is the end of this episode of the Gallachini Sports Show. I hope you enjoyed. What do you think? Have you found a team yet? Are you Dallas? Are you New Orleans? Or are you waiting out to see if one of the following teams that I pick are a pick for you? So thank you for watching. I want you to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. If you have any recommendations or requests, leave it in the comments. And until then, catch you at the flip side.